Okay.
Yeah.
There remains, though, a bid to remove Duale from his office. The Kieni legislator, for instance, Kanini Kega, has claimed that he's collected 115 signatures calling for Duale's removal. What's your take on that move? And given the sort of stormy episode that the party is possibly getting out of now, how can the party really move together forward speedily, as you have referred to, when the matter of the majority leader remains so contentious?
Yes, indeed, as of today, when I checked, I anticipated that question. The numbers of signatures have gone to, I think, 126 plus. Now, what does that tell you? It's growing. Now, what does that tell you? See, the title is leader of the majority party. Leader, not manager. Leader. So one of the things the leader is expected is to bring everyone together, build consensus, harness the synergies of all the different members. We are 212 members of the Jubilee Coalition. No, 216. Out of the 216, if 126 are saying, we don't want you as our leader, we've lost our trust in you as our leader, then you are left with 90. It's a minority. So if I was in that position myself, I would seriously consider, do I have the trust of the membership that I'm supposed to lead in Parliament?
But more directly, you're saying that Aden Duale is not fit to hold that position.
Not because of, technically he's very good, and he's done it for the last 7 years. But it's an issue of, and that's what I'm saying, there's a difference between a manager and a leader. Managing parliamentary affairs, he's done very well. But leading the troops in Parliament, you cannot lead troops that are divided, and divided with a majority saying they don't want you to lead them. Okay? And I believe that's the same thing that happened with Honorable Kidiki, with Honorable Mukomen. They were very good technically. But the people kind of said, well, you're doing your jobs well, but you seem to have lost faith, the trust of your party. You seem to have, we as leaders don't believe we have, we trust you enough to deliver on what the president wants.
But right? You've said that your position, for instance, is not one, these positions, none of them are for lobbying, it's about consensus. You've also talked about the president, picking you specifically. So one would imagine that the same follows for the majority leader. Is it not the case that the president should, exactly.
He actually did in 2013, he picked Honorable Aden Duale in 2017. And even in the last meeting, the communication from State House, which is probably the only thing we need to go by, was that, he has been retained. Now, members out there feel perhaps that's not the understanding of the proceedings of the meeting, based on the few who have talked to, and they're saying, can you do the minute? I say, no, I wasn't the Secretary General then.
Published the wrong information regarding what happened at PG?
State House published the information based on, the outcome. The fact that his position was not up for change technically means he was continuing. That's one interpretation of it. That the position was not offered in terms of are we going to change this, or do we need to change this? Yeah. Everything else was like for confirmation.
Sounds like you're speaking from both ends of your mouth. If he was retained at a critical PG in which the president himself called, was chairing, then if any changes were to happen to that position, it would be at that day. And the point being that when 100, and now you've said 26 members of parliament go out there and say they have no confidence in Aden Duale to hold this position, are they not equally guilty then of insubordinating the president? The president, the same president.
It's not insubordination. I think there was a lot of expectation, and I think the media had done lots of hype that on that day, all positions were going to be changed. Okay? There was a full purge. So the fact that it did not happen then sent people thinking, what exactly did, because if my recollection is right, it's like this one will be determined later or decided on later. But after the communication from State House, so there was a whole disappointment among the membership of like, hang on a minute, why was he spared? All right? And I think that has triggered, that movement in terms of looking for signatures, looking for alternative, basically testing the hypothesis for the president that does the majority leader command the trust and support of the troops in parliament.
So you're saying anything could happen?
So
anything
now,
could happen with this position? With
this empirical evidence, if you look at the signatures as part of our research, then at least there's a way of determining, yes, does my leader, from the president's perspective, does my leader in parliament command the troops, so that if there's a very contentious issue, as we expect in the next 2 years, right? And especially if you look at the people who have signed up, do they belong to predominate one faction, and is this being supported by a faction that's also likely to oppose the president's agenda?
But if there's a contentious issue, isn't that where you come in?
We all do it as a team. But, you see, there's one leader who brings the matter to parliament. If that team, the strength of a chain is only as strong as the weakest link. So if within our team, there's a weak link, we could jeopardize the entire success of the president and his troops in parliament. And I believe that's where people are getting concerned and say, if you're doing a cleanup, let's clean properly. Let's clean up everything so we have new confidence, and then we don't ever need to see the president looking angry because he's feeling disappointed, that his agenda is not moving in parliament, or that people are criticizing him out there, that he's saying one thing and we are misunderstanding it, or people are misunderstanding it when he talks of BBI, and people think that BBI is about stopping somebody from ascending to power, or he talks of something else on corruption, and somebody thinks is being targeted on a person. We need to move in harmony, so that when he says one thing, we understand it the same way, and we then put the structures in place to implement it.
All right, and so in your opinion, Aden Duale is a weak link, but we have to move on.
According to the signatures.
Are you one of the signatories?
I think the intention here is that all the 126 signatories will be kept confidential until they are handed over to the party leader.
Okay.
So, and hence, I will neither deny nor accept.
But I'll just let you know it sounds like you're one of them. But anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the president's agenda.